Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Nature channel. Settle in, let your shoulders soften, and allow your breathing to slow. Tonight's gentle journey is about kittens, small, warm lives discovering the world one quiet moment at a time. This is a soft story, full of tiny observations, slow movements, and peaceful pauses. Nothing to solve, nowhere to go. Just the calm rhythm of curious paws and sleepy hearts. The kittens wake before they open their eyes. Not fully awake, just drifting upward from sleep, like sunlight moving through closed curtains. Their breaths are shallow and quick, rising and falling in small waves. Each breath smells faintly of milk and warmth. One kitten stretches first. A front paw reaches forward, toes spreading wide as if testing the air. The stretch is slow and instinctive, a memory older than thought. Muscles lengthen, then relax again, satisfied. Another kitten twitches an ear. Sounds arrive before meaning does. A distant hum, the soft shift of fabric, the quiet presence of the room. The world announces itself gently, without urgency. Their eyes open only a little, just enough to let in blurred shapes and soft light. Kittens do not rush into seeing. Their vision is still learning how to hold the world. The floor beneath them is warm. It holds the heat of the day and gives it back slowly, like a promise. Their bellies rest against it, round and heavy with comfort. One kitten rolls onto its side. The movement is clumsy, unplanned, and perfect. Gravity is still something new, something to negotiate with rather than obey. Whiskers brush against another body. There is a pause, then a gentle adjustment. Kittens are experts at sharing space without words. A tiny yawn opens a mouth wider than expected. Pink tongue, small teeth, a quiet breath out. Yawning is contagious here. Another kitten follows, then another, until the room feels looser, sleepier. Their fur catches the light. Each kitten holds a slightly different shade: cream, gray, soft orange, like variations of the same calm note. One kitten notices its own tail. It moves. The kitten freezes. The tail moves again. Curiosity blooms without effort. A paw reaches, misses, reaches again. The attempt ends in stillness, not frustration, just acceptance. Some mysteries can wait. The air is calm. No sudden sounds, no sharp edges, just the slow passing of time, marked by breath and blink. A kitten needs the surface beneath it. Press, release, press, release. The motion comes from deep memory, from a time when comfort was everything. It is soothing even to watch. Another kitten presses closer. Bodies arrange themselves into a loose pile. Warmth is shared without question. Their purring begins softly, not all at once. One small vibration, then another. The sound is barely audible, more felt than heard, like a quiet engine of peace. Purring steadies the room. It smooths the edges of thought. It slows the heartbeat. Eyes begin to close again. Sleep returns easily. Kittens trust rest. They do not resist it. One kitten's breathing evens out. Another follows. The pile becomes heavier, softer, more still. The world grows smaller, just fur, warmth, and the gentle rise and fall of tiny chests. Nothing else is needed. The kittens sleep, and the room sleeps with them, wrapped in quiet, safe, and slow. And you can rest here too, letting your thoughts fade, following the same gentle rhythm as everything settles into calm. The kittens remain asleep, but sleep for them is never still. It shifts gently, like grass moving under a soft breeze. Tiny paws twitch, not waking, just remembering motion. One kitten dreams of warmth, not a place, not a thing, just the feeling itself. Warmth pressed against its side, steady and constant. like the world breathing with it. Another kitten's whiskers quiver. Dreams arrive as sensations before images. A faint scent, a memory of milk, the echo of a familiar presence. Their ears flick at sounds that barely exist. A floorboard cooling, air settling, the distant rhythm of night. Kittens listen even while sleeping, tuned to the quiet language of safety. One kitten exhales a long breath. It slips out slowly, releasing the last tension of waking life. The body sinks deeper into rest, heavier, softer. The pile shifts almost imperceptibly. A shoulder presses closer, a chin finds a better place to rest. These adjustments happen without thought, guided by instinct older than the kittens themselves. Fur overlaps fur. Different textures meet, some slightly longer, some fine and downy, creating a living blanket that holds heat perfectly. The room grows dimmer. Light fades not suddenly, but gently, as if even brightness knows it should not disturb this moment. A kitten's tail curls inward. The movement is slow and deliberate, ending with the tail tucked safely against its body. Nothing exposed, nothing vulnerable. Purring deepens. It becomes more rhythmic now, less playful, more like a lullaby sung by the body itself. A vibration meant to soothe, to heal, to reassure. The sound spreads, not louder, fuller. It fills the space between breaths, smoothing the air. Another kitten stretches in its sleep. A back arches slightly, then relaxes. Muscles release one by one, like knots being gently untied. Their noses are cool, their paws warm. This balance feels right. The body knows when everything is as it should be. Time slows further. Minutes lose their shape. There is no before or after here, only this ongoing now. A kitten briefly opens one eye, just a sliver, enough to confirm the world is unchanged. The eye closes again, satisfied. Trust settles over the group. Trust that nothing will ask anything of them. Trust that rest is allowed. Breathing synchronizes, in, out, in, out. Not exact, but close enough to feel shared. A small chorus of quiet life. The floor beneath them holds steady. It does not shift. It does not surprise. It simply supports. A faint scent drifts through the air. Clean fabric, warm fur, the soft, comforting smell of safety. The kind of scent that tells the nervous system it can finally rest. One kitten's paw rests on another's side. The touch is light, almost accidental, but it remains. Contact without demand. Sleep deepens again. Dreams grow slower now, less vivid, more like floating than moving. The room feels wrapped, as if invisible walls have drawn closer, holding warmth and quiet inside. Nothing interrupts. No sudden sounds. No sharp edges. Only the steady passage of breath and time. The kittens are fully surrendered to rest, not because they decided to, but because they know how. And you can follow them there, letting go without effort, breathing slowly, allowing your own thoughts to soften and drift as the night holds everything gently in place. The kittens do not know how long they have been asleep. Time has loosened its grip here. It no longer measures, it only drifts. Sleep holds them gently, like water holding small leaves. One kitten shifts, drawn by a subtle change in temperature. The warmth beneath them has cooled just enough to be noticed, and instinct guides the body closer to shared heat. Their bodies rearrange slowly, not waking, not fully dreaming, just adjusting, the way clouds change shape without effort. A tiny nose presses into fur. The scent is familiar and calming, rich with comfort. The kitten inhales once, then settles. Paws relax completely. Toes uncurl. Claws stay hidden. There is no need to hold on to anything here. The purring softens again. It does not stop. It fades into a quieter register, like a distant engine humming far away, felt more than heard. One kitten's ear folds slightly under another's chin. It doesn't mind. The weight feels reassuring, grounding. Their whiskers lie still now, no longer testing the air, no longer responding to dreams, just resting, suspended in calm. The room itself seems to slow. Walls hold the silence carefully. Even the air feels thicker, as if it has decided to stay. A faint shadow passes as clouds move outside. Light shifts across the floor, barely noticeable, but enough to remind the world that night continues its slow work. The kittens remain untouched by it. Their world is much smaller. Fur, warmth, breath. One kitten's chest rises, pauses, then falls. The pause is long enough to feel peaceful, not alarming. The body trusts itself completely. Another kitten sighs, a soft release, like letting go of something unnamed. The sound barely reaches the ears, but it changes the feeling of the room. Sleep deepens into something heavier. Dreams thin out, becoming impressions instead of stories. A sense of floating, a sense of being held. The pile of kittens becomes still, so still it almost looks like one creature instead of many, a single shape made of softness. Their tails lie quiet. No flicking, no curiosity, just rest. The floor cools further, slowly, but the kittens do not feel cold. Their shared warmth compensates effortlessly. A tiny twitch runs through one back paw, not a startle, just a ripple, like a wave passing through a calm lake and disappearing just as quietly. Breathing grows deeper, slower, more even. Each breath carries the body further into rest. There is no urgency anywhere, nothing waiting, nothing expected. The kittens are exactly where they need to be, and they know it in the simple, wordless way animals know things. The quiet stretches, not empty, full of calm, full of safety. A distant sound passes outside, too far to matter, too soft to disturb. The kittens do not react. Their bodies remain loose, completely unguarded, trust made physical. Sleep wraps around them like another layer of fur. Warm, weightless, secure. The room feels smaller now, cozier, as if night itself has leaned in closer, careful not to wake them. Nothing changes for a long while, and that is exactly right. You can stay here too, matching the slow rhythm of their breathing, letting your own body sink, allowing thoughts to fade until there is only this calm, steady stillness, and rest comes without effort. The kittens remain wrapped in sleep, but the night around them continues its quiet movement. Air cools by fractions, shadows soften. The world shifts so slowly that only bodies at rest can notice. One kitten's breathing changes first, not waking, just deepening. Each breath travels a little farther, filling the chest, then easing out again. The rhythm is steady, unhurried, confident. Another kitten presses its forehead gently into the warmth beside it. The contact is instinctive, a small adjustment that brings reassurance without interrupting sleep. Their fur holds heat efficiently. Tiny bodies, close together, create a pocket of warmth that feels complete, like a finished circle. A whisker bends, then settles. Dreams are loosening now, thinning into soft impressions. There are no sharp images, only feelings drifting past. The room listens. Nothing intrudes. Even distant sounds seem to slow as they pass, as if respecting the stillness. One kitten's paw flexes once, a gentle opening and closing, then stillness again. Muscles release fully, trusting the surface beneath. Their ears rest in relaxed positions, not angled to catch sound, not alert. Simply at ease, folded into the shape of rest. The floor beneath them continues to cool, but the kittens do not notice. Their shared warmth adjusts naturally, maintaining balance without effort. A faint vibration of purring returns briefly. Not continuous, just a reminder, like a quiet echo of comfort. It fades again, leaving calm behind. Time feels wide here, not long, not short, just open. A space where nothing needs to happen. One kitten exhales through its nose. The sound is barely there, but it carries softness with it, spreading through the still air. Their bodies grow heavier, not weighed down, grounded, connected fully to the present moment. The pile of kittens settles into a shape that no longer shifts. Every curve fits. Every edge finds support. A distant light outside dims further. Night deepens, thick and protective, like a blanket drawn up slowly. The kittens remain unaware of this change. Their world is contained entirely within warmth, breath, and the steady absence of danger. One kitten's tail tip curls slightly inward. A final adjustment, then complete stillness. Their breathing synchronizes again, not perfectly, but enough to feel shared. A loose harmony of life at rest. The silence grows richer, not empty, but layered, filled with tiny sounds that are almost nothing. The faint movement of air, the quiet settling of matter. Sleep moves deeper. There is no longer a sense of beginning or end, only continuity. The kittens' faces soften further, brows smooth, jaws relax, everything unnecessary releases. A sense of safety fills the space, not dramatic, not overwhelming, just steady and reliable. The night holds its shape. No surprises, no interruptions, only gentle continuation. Another long breath passes through the pile. In, then out, slower than before. The kittens are fully surrendered now, not resisting, not thinking, just being. Their small bodies remind the room how to rest, how to let go without effort. Nothing calls them back to waking, nothing pulls at their attention. The moment stretches on, unchanged, perfectly balanced. And you can remain here too, following the same slow rhythm, allowing your body to grow heavy, your thoughts to dissolve, and sleep to arrive quietly, without being asked, just as naturally as it does for the kittens. The kittens lie where they are, still folded into one another, but the night has moved deeper into its quiet phase. This is the hour when nothing new arrives, when the world rests inside itself. Their sleep is no longer light. It has weight now, a gentle gravity pulling them inward, away from surfaces and sounds, into a deeper layer of rest. One kitten's chest rises slowly. The breath pauses at the top, unhurried, then drifts out again. The pause is peaceful, a sign of complete trust in the moment. Another kitten's whiskers relax further, no longer angled forward. They curve softly, following the natural shape of the face, no longer listening, no longer searching. The warmth between them stabilizes, not increasing, not fading, simply steady, like a small, quiet hearth built of fur and breath. Their bodies are limp in the best way. Muscles have released their last effort. Even the smallest tension has slipped away. The floor beneath them feels distant now, not gone, but unimportant. Their awareness no longer reaches that far. A kitten's ear flattens slightly as it sinks deeper into fur. No discomfort follows, only softness, meeting softness. Their paws rest where they fell, toes loose, pads warm, claws tucked away without conscious thought. The air around them grows cooler, slowly, but inside the pile, temperature remains constant, protected by closeness and instinct. purring has faded completely, not because comfort is gone, but because it is no longer needed. Calm has taken over the work. Time continues, but the kittens do not follow it. They are no longer moving with minutes or hours. They have stepped out of measurement. One kitten sighs again. This time the sound is almost imagined. A release so small it barely disturbs the air. Dreams have thinned to sensations. A sense of floating, a sense of warmth. No images, no motion, only presence. Their tails lie completely still now, not even the smallest flick. Curiosity is fully asleep. The room feels larger and smaller at the same time. Larger because nothing presses in, smaller because nothing extends outward. A distant sound outside dissolves before reaching them. The kittens remain untouched, sealed inside calm. Their breathing deepens further, each cycle slower than the last, like waves easing toward shore and finally resting. The pile of kittens feels settled for the long stretch. This is not a nap, this is real rest. Their faces are smooth, no tension around eyes or mouths, expressions empty of effort. A kitten's chin slips a fraction lower. Gravity guides it gently without waking thought. The shared warmth feels complete, enough for all of them, enough to last. The night air holds still, as if even movement has decided to pause. There is no need to adjust anymore. Everything fits. Sleep now wraps the kittens fully, not like a blanket laid on top, but like water surrounding them evenly on all sides. They are suspended inside it, held without pressure, supported without demand. The room carries the same stillness it learns from them. Nothing asks for attention, nothing pulls awareness outward. The world has narrowed to breath and warmth alone, and even that feels distant now. The kittens are deeply, completely asleep, so deeply that waking feels very far away. This is the safest kind of quiet, the kind that does not feel empty, but full of reassurance. The night continues its slow passage, unnoticed, unimportant. The kittens rest on, unmoving, untroubled. And you can rest here as well, letting your breathing slow to match theirs, allowing heaviness to spread gently through your body, releasing every last effort until sleep feels natural, inevitable, and already here. The kittens remain exactly where sleep left them, but the night has shifted into its deepest quiet. This is the hour when even the world seems to breathe more slowly, careful not to disturb itself. Their bodies are fully surrendered now. No muscle holds tension. No instinct stays alert. Everything unnecessary has been released. One kitten's breathing grows so slow it almost disappears. The chest rises gently, pauses, then falls again, as if remembering rather than actively breathing. The body knows what to do without being told. Another kitten's head rests at an angle that would feel awkward to a waking mind, but sleep makes no such judgments. It accepts the position as perfect. Fur presses softly into fur. Every small curve fits into another, creating a shape that feels intentional, even though no one planned it. The warmth between them has settled into balance. Not hot, not cool, just right. The kind of warmth that requires no awareness to enjoy. A faint movement passes through one kitten's paw. Not a twitch, not a dream. Simply the last echo of motion leaving the body. Their whiskers lie completely still now, no longer responding to air, to scent, to imagined movement. They rest, as if carved from softness. The room around them feels suspended, as though it is holding its position in space, waiting patiently, honoring the depth of this rest. Light from outside has dimmed to its lowest point. Not darkness exactly, more like a gentle absence of brightness. The kittens do not notice. Their world no longer includes walls, windows, or distance. It has narrowed to something much simpler. One kitten exhales through its mouth. A tiny sound escapes, then fades. The mouth closes again, relaxed, peaceful. Their ears sit loose against their heads, not angled, not folded, just resting where gravity placed them. The floor beneath them is cooler now, but the kittens are untouched by it, wrapped in shared heat, insulated by closeness. Time moves, but it moves quietly. It does not announce itself. It does not count. It simply passes. Dreams have become very distant. No longer stories or sensations, just a vague sense of being held, of floating somewhere safe. A kitten's tail shifts a fraction of an inch, then settles completely, as if deciding it has reached its final position for the night. Their breathing drifts into a deeper rhythm. Longer inhales, longer pauses, slower exhales, each cycle gentler than the last. The pile of kittens feels complete. Nothing missing, nothing extra, no need for change. Silence grows fuller, layered with tiny, almost non-existent sounds, the soft movement of air, the distant settling of the building, the quiet presence of night. The kittens' faces are smooth and open. No expressions remain. No effort lingers behind closed eyes. One kitten's chin sinks slightly lower into fur. The movement is guided entirely by gravity and trust. The shared warmth feels steady and reliable, a constant that does not need monitoring. The night outside continues its slow work. Stars shift, hours pass. None of it reaches inside. The kittens remain deeply asleep, not drifting, not floating, anchored firmly in rest. Their bodies feel heavier now, not weighed down, grounded, connected fully to the surface and to each other. There is no urge to move, no signal to adjust. Everything has found its place. Sleep wraps around them evenly, not pressing, not holding tightly, simply surrounding. They exist inside it, untouched by thought, safe, unguarded, at peace. The room mirrors them, still, quiet, settled. Nothing interrupts, nothing intrudes. The moment stretches on, calm and unbroken. This is the deepest part of the night. The kittens rest, without knowing they are resting, the most effortless kind of sleep. And you can remain here too, letting your breath slow naturally, allowing your body to grow heavy and calm, releasing every remaining thought until sleep feels complete, steady, and already yours. The kittens stay asleep as the night begins its slow, quiet turn toward morning. Nothing signals the change clearly. It happens beneath notice, the way tides shift far from shore. Their bodies remain heavy with rest. Sleep has settled deep inside them now, no longer something they are entering, but something they are fully inside. One kitten's breathing changes slightly, not faster, not lighter, just different. The body adjusts on its own, guided by rhythms older than awareness. Another kitten's paw slips a fraction of an inch. The movement is slow, almost ceremonial, ending as soon as it begins. Comfort is restored without waking. The warmth between them remains steady. It has become part of the environment, like air or gravity, no longer something that stands out. Fur rises and falls with each breath, soft patterns repeating again and again, reliable and calm. The room holds its silence carefully. No sound pushes forward. Even distant noise seems to dissolve before arriving. A kitten's ear tilts slightly, then relaxes, not reacting to sound, simply following the gentle pull of gravity as sleep deepens. Their whiskers remain still, completely at rest, no longer mapping space, no longer sensing the world. Outside, The darkness subtly thins, not brighter, just less dense. A shift too small to see, but real all the same. The kittens do not notice. Their world remains unchanged, contained entirely within warmth and breath. One kitten exhales in a long, slow stream. The breath leaves without effort, carrying with it the last traces of wakefulness. Their bodies feel settled for the long rest. This is not a pause between activity. This is restoration. Time stretches quietly. Minutes pass without texture, without edges. They melt into one another. A faint adjustment passes through the pile. A shoulder lowers, a chin finds firmer support. Then stillness returns. The kittens' faces are loose and open, mouths slightly parted, brows smooth. No tension remains. The floor beneath them feels distant and irrelevant. They are supported, but they do not need to be aware of it. Their breathing slows again, each cycle long and unbroken, like waves that no longer reach the shore. The air feels calm and stable. No drafts, no sudden changes, just presence. Sleep holds them evenly now, not pulling them deeper, not letting them rise, simply keeping them where they are. A kitten's tail tip curls once, gently, then rests, unmoving, as if it has found its final shape. The room feels wider, as if space itself has relaxed, no longer pressing inward. Dreams are distant now, barely impressions, barely sensations, more like a sense of being than of imagining. Their small bodies remain perfectly unguarded, trust made physical, vulnerability without fear. Outside, the world continues its slow turning. Stars shift, hours thin. None of it disturbs the calm inside. The kittens remain deeply asleep, so deeply that even the idea of waking feels far away. Their shared warmth continues to circulate, balanced, reliable, enough. Nothing needs to change. Nothing needs to be done. The night is almost finished, but this moment remains untouched by what comes next. The kittens rest on, steady and peaceful, held by sleep, supported by one another, and you can stay here too, letting the quiet carry you, allowing your breathing to remain slow and easy, feeling the same grounded calm spread through your body as rest continues naturally, gently, without interruption. The kittens remain asleep as the first quiet hints of morning drift through the world, too soft to be called light. This is not dawn yet. It is only the idea of it, far away and unimportant. Their bodies do not respond to the change. Sleep still holds them firmly, deep and unbroken, like water holding smooth stones at the bottom of a stream. One kitten's breathing becomes slower still. Each inhale stretches gently, as if the body is in no hurry to let the air go. Each exhale follows just as calmly. Another kitten's head sinks a little deeper into the warmth beneath it. The movement is guided by gravity alone, not intention, ending when perfect comfort is found. The shared warmth remains constant. It no longer feels like something created by bodies, but something the space itself provides. Fur shifts almost imperceptibly with every breath. A quiet rise, a soft fall, a pattern that continues without awareness. The room stays silent. No new sounds arrive. Nothing stirs. Even the walls seem to rest. A kitten's ear relaxes further, folding slightly as sleep deepens. No signal reaches it now. Hearing has stepped aside. Their whiskers lie smooth and motionless, no longer sensing air, no longer reading distance. They are completely at rest. Outside, darkness slowly loosens its hold, not retreating, just softening like fabric worn thin with time. The kittens do not notice. Their world remains unchanged, small and complete. One kitten releases a long, quiet sigh. The sound is barely there, but it shifts the feeling of the room, making it even calmer. Their paws rest loosely where they fell, toes relaxed, pads warm. No tension remains. Sleep has grown very heavy now, not pressing downward, but anchoring them fully in place. Dreams have faded almost entirely. What remains is a sense of floating inside warmth, of being held without edges. The pile of kittens feels settled beyond adjustment. No movement passes through it now. Everything has found its place. Time moves forward gently, so gently that it leaves no trace as it passes. A faint coolness brushes the air outside the pile. Inside, nothing changes. The shared warmth adapts without effort. The kittens' faces remain smooth and peaceful, mouths relaxed, brows soft, expressions empty of thought. One kitten's tail tip uncurls slightly. The movement ends as soon as it begins, like a thought that never fully forms. Breathing remains slow and even, each cycle deeper than the last, each pause longer and more complete. The room feels suspended between night and day, neither one claiming it yet, a quiet in-between. The kittens stay untouched by this transition. They exist outside of clocks, outside of light. Their bodies feel heavy, grounded, fully supported. There is no urge to wake, no pull toward movement. Silence becomes fuller, layered with stillness, with safety, with the absence of demand. Sleep wraps them evenly on all sides, not tightening, not loosening, simply holding. They rest without knowing they are resting, the purest kind of calm. Outside, the world prepares to change. Inside, nothing does. The kittens remain deeply asleep, untroubled, unaware, secure. And you can remain here as well, breathing slowly, letting your body stay heavy and calm, allowing thoughts to drift away as rest continues naturally, quietly, and completely. The kittens are still asleep when the night reaches its most silent point. This is the moment when even the stars seem to pause, when the world rests inside a long, unbroken breath. Nothing stirs around them, not the air, not the shadows, not the distant spaces beyond the room. Everything feels held in place. The kittens' bodies are completely relaxed now. Sleep has settled so deeply that even instinct has gone quiet. There is no readiness, no listening, no expectation. One kitten's breathing is slow and full. Each inhale expands the chest gently, without effort, without sound. Each exhale leaves just as smoothly, like air drifting out of an open window. Another kitten's cheek presses deeper into the fur beneath it. The softness shapes itself around the face, creating a perfect hollow of warmth and comfort. Their fur has flattened slightly where they touch. Tiny imprints form and remain, as if the night itself is remembering their shapes. The shared warmth between them feels complete. It no longer changes or shifts. It has reached a steady state, calm and reliable, like embers that no longer flicker. A kitten's ear lies folded gently against its head. Hearing has fully stepped away now. Sounds could pass nearby and never be noticed. Whiskers rest in soft arcs, no longer reaching outward, no longer mapping space. They curve inward, following the calm of the face. The room feels wrapped in stillness, not empty, but dense with quiet, as if silence itself has weight. Outside, darkness holds its deepest tone, not black, but velvety and thick, absorbing everything without resistance. The kittens remain untouched by it. Their world is contained within the small circle of warmth and breath. One kitten releases a breath that ends in a barely there sound, not a sigh, more like a settling, a final letting go. Their paws are completely loose, toes relaxed, pads warm, claws hidden without thought. Sleep has become heavy and grounding, not pressing down, but anchoring each small body fully into rest. Dreams have faded into something shapeless. No images, no movement, only the sensation of floating, of being supported from all sides. The pile of kittens feels like one continuous shape now. Where one body ends and another begins no longer matters. Time passes without markers. Minutes leave no footprints. Hours drift by unnoticed. A faint coolness brushes the outer edge of the room. Inside the pile, warmth remains unchanged, perfectly balanced. The kittens' faces are smooth and open. No tension remains around eyes or mouths. Expressions have emptied completely. One kitten's tail tip moves just once. A slow curl, then stillness returns deeper than before. Their breathing synchronizes again, not perfectly, but gently, like waves overlapping in calm water. The silence grows even fuller, layered with safety, with rest, with the absence of anything that needs attention. The floor beneath them feels distant and irrelevant. They are supported, but no longer aware of being held. The night seems to lean closer, not to watch, not to disturb, only to shelter. Nothing changes for a long while, and that lack of change feels soothing, reassuring. The kittens are resting in the deepest part of sleep. The place where waking feels very far away. Their bodies are completely unguarded, trust made physical, calm made real. Outside, the world continues its slow turning. Inside, everything remains exactly as it is. The moment stretches gently, without end. No beginning, no conclusion. Just continuation. The kittens sleep on, safe, warm, still. And you can stay here too, letting your breathing remain slow and natural, feeling the same heaviness spread through your body, allowing every last thought to soften and fade as sleep deepens quietly, steadily, and without effort. The kittens remain asleep as the night settles into a long, steady stillness. This is the kind of quiet that feels intentional, as if the world has chosen to pause for them. Their bodies are deeply at rest now, not drifting, not floating, anchored gently in a place where nothing asks to be noticed. One kitten's breathing slows into a smooth, even rhythm. Each breath moves through the body without effort, like a tide that knows exactly when to arrive and when to retreat. Another kitten's shoulder sinks a little further into the warmth beside it. The movement is subtle, guided only by gravity and comfort, ending the moment everything feels right. The warmth between them feels complete and settled. It does not pulse or change. It simply exists, steady and reliable. Their fur lies flat where bodies meet. Soft fibers pressed together, holding heat and quiet in equal measure. A kitten's ear twitches once, then relaxes again. Not a response, just the last echo of motion fading away. Whiskers rest in gentle curves along small faces. They no longer sense the air, they no longer reach outward. They have followed the rest of the body into stillness. The room feels wrapped in silence, not an empty silence, but a thick, protective one, like a cocoon built of calm. Outside, darkness remains deep and soft. Light has not yet arrived, and there is no urgency for it to do so. The kittens remain unaware of time. Minutes and hours move past them without leaving any trace. One kitten exhales slowly, then pauses before the next breath. The pause feels peaceful, unhurried, filled with trust. Their paws are completely relaxed, toes loose, pads warm, claws hidden, forgotten. Sleep has settled into its heaviest layer, not pressing down, but holding everything in place with quiet certainty. Dreams have thinned into something barely present. Not stories, not images, only a sense of being held, of floating inside warmth. The pile of kittens feels unified now, less like separate bodies and more like one soft, breathing presence. The floor beneath them cools slightly. Inside the pile, nothing changes. The shared warmth adapts without thought. Their faces remain smooth and open. No tension lingers around eyes or mouths. Expressions are empty of effort. A kitten's tail tip curls gently inward. The motion ends slowly, settling into complete stillness. Breathing becomes slower again. Long inhales, gentle pauses, soft, unforced exhales. The room seems to learn from them. It grows quieter, steadier, as if mirroring their calm. Nothing moves for a long while, and that lack of movement feels safe. The night continues to hold its breath, careful, patient, unchanging. The kittens remain deeply asleep, so deeply that waking feels distant, almost imaginary. Their bodies are fully unguarded. Trust has replaced awareness entirely. Outside, the world prepares for change. Inside, everything remains the same. The moment stretches on, calm and uninterrupted. No beginning, no end, just presence. The kittens sleep on, warm, secure, still. And you can stay here too, letting your breath slow naturally, feeling the same grounded heaviness spread through your body, allowing every thought to dissolve as rest continues quietly, steadily, and completely. The kittens are still asleep as the night loosens its hold, not all at once, but gently, thread by thread. Morning does not arrive here. It waits at a distance, patient and quiet, careful not to disturb what is resting. Their bodies remain heavy with sleep. This is not the heaviness of exhaustion, but the comfortable weight of restoration, the kind that settles when nothing more is required. One kitten's breathing deepens again. The chest rises slowly, pauses as if listening to itself, then releases the air in a smooth, unbroken stream. Each breath feels complete. Another kitten's head tilts by the smallest degree. Gravity guides it, not urgency. The movement ends as soon as comfort is perfected. The warmth between them feels almost alive, not shifting, not spreading, simply present, like a calm, steady glow shared by all. Their fur has warmed completely now. Soft fibers hold heat close, creating a pocket of comfort that feels sealed from the outside world. A kitten's ear twitches faintly, not in response to sound, but as if the body is checking in with itself before sinking deeper again. Whiskers rest along their cheeks, unmoving. They no longer trace space or test the air. They follow the stillness inward. The room feels suspended in time, as if the clock itself has slowed, stretching seconds until they feel wide and gentle. Outside, the darkness begins to thin, not brighter, just lighter in texture, like a curtain easing under its own weight. The kittens remain unaware. Their world has not changed. It is still warmth, breath, and the steady absence of need. One kitten releases a long, quiet breath through its nose. The sound is barely audible, but it softens the room further, smoothing the air. Their paws rest exactly where they fell. Pads warm, toes loose. Nothing clenched, nothing held back. Sleep has settled into its deepest layer, the kind of sleep that repairs quietly, without dreams, without movement. Thoughts do not pass here, neither do images. There is only a sense of floating inside comfort, of being held evenly on all sides. The pile of kittens feels complete and settled. No edges feel exposed. No part reaches outward. Time continues, but without urgency. Minutes slide into one another, indistinguishable and gentle. A faint coolness brushes the outer air of the room. Inside the circle of fur, warmth remains unchanged, adapting without effort. The kittens' faces are peaceful and smooth, mouths relaxed, brows soft, expressions free of intention. One kitten's tail shifts slightly, then comes to rest. The movement is slow and final, like the closing of a door that does not need to be opened again. Their breathing drifts into a shared rhythm once more, not exact, but harmonious, like overlapping waves in calm water. The silence deepens further, not empty, full of reassurance, full of steadiness. The floor beneath them feels far away now. Support is present, but awareness no longer reaches it. The night leans back, making space. It does not leave. It simply loosens its hold. Nothing changes for a long while, and that sameness feels comforting, reliable. The kittens remain deeply asleep, anchored, unmoving, fully at rest. Their small bodies are completely unguarded. Trust has replaced alertness entirely. Outside, the world prepares to wake. Inside, sleep continues undisturbed. The moment stretches calm and wide. No beginning, no end, only continuation. The kittens rest on, wrapped in warmth and quiet, safe inside the soft edge of morning. And you can remain here too, breathing slowly, letting your body stay heavy and calm, allowing every last thought to soften and fade as rest continues naturally, gently, and completely, just a little longer. The kittens remain asleep as the very first quiet traces of morning touch the room. This light does not announce itself. It does not hurry. It arrives the way breath does, slowly, naturally, without needing permission. Their bodies do not respond at once. Sleep still holds them deeply, firmly, as if reminding them there is no reason to move yet. One kitten's breathing shifts almost imperceptibly. The inhale stretches a little longer, filling the chest fully before releasing. The exhale follows, smooth and unbroken, like air drifting out of a warm space. Another kitten presses its cheek more firmly into the fur beside it. The motion is guided by comfort alone, a quiet instinct seeking the softest place to rest. The shared warmth remains steady. It has become part of the environment, no longer something created by bodies, but something the space itself seems to offer. Their fur catches the faintest hint of light, not brightness, just a gentle softening of shadow, a subtle change in tone that barely registers. The kittens do not open their eyes. Sleep still outweighs curiosity. Rest still feels more important than seeing. One kitten's ear flicks gently, then relaxes again, not reacting to sound, but following the slow shift of the body as it settles deeper. Whiskers remain still, lying softly against small faces. They no longer read the air, they no longer map the room. They have followed everything else into calm. The room feels different now, not louder, not brighter, just slightly less enclosed, as if the night has loosened its arms. Outside, the world is beginning to move, but those movements stay far away, unable to reach inside this pocket of quiet. A kitten releases a long breath through its nose. The sound is soft and warm, barely there, but it spreads calm through the space like a ripple. Their paws rest loosely where they fell. Toes uncurl fully. Pads remain warm. Nothing tightens. Sleep continues to deepen in a different way now. No longer sinking, simply steady, wide, and complete. Dreams do not return. There are no stories here, no images. Only the sense of floating inside safety. The pile of kittens feels unified and settled, less like separate bodies and more like one shared presence. Breathing slowly and evenly, time moves forward quietly. Minutes slide past without edges, without distinction. A faint coolness brushes the outer air of the room. Inside the pile, warmth adapts effortlessly, maintaining balance without awareness. The kittens' faces remain smooth and peaceful, mouths relaxed, brows soft. No trace of tension remains. One kitten's tail tip curls inward, then stops. The motion ends slowly, decisively, as if the body has chosen stillness. Breathing becomes slower again, each inhale long, each pause unhurried, each exhale gentle and complete. The silence feels full and stable, not empty, layered with reassurance, with quiet continuity. The floor beneath them feels distant and unimportant. Support exists, but no longer needs to be noticed. Light continues to grow, just slightly. Not enough to wake anything, only enough to soften the edges of shadow. The kittens remain untouched by it. Their world is still warmth, breath, and rest. Nothing asks them to move. Nothing calls them forward. Their bodies remain heavy in the best way, grounded, supported, fully at ease. The room seems to pause with them, learning their stillness, copying their calm. This moment stretches wide, not endless, just complete. The kittens sleep on, deeply and securely, wrapped in warmth, held by quiet. And you can remain here too, breathing slowly, allowing your body to stay heavy and calm, letting the soft light pass without pulling you back, as rest continues gently, steadily, and without any need to wake just yet. The kittens remain asleep as the morning settles more fully into the room, still careful, still quiet. Nothing rushes them. The day understands it must wait. Their bodies are deeply relaxed now, resting in a state that feels complete and undisturbed. Sleep has woven itself through every small muscle, every gentle curve, leaving nothing tense, nothing unfinished. One kitten's breathing becomes slightly fuller, not faster, just rounder, as if the lungs are stretching comfortably inside a familiar space. Each breath moves with ease, confident and calm. Another kitten shifts the weight of its head by the smallest amount. The movement is slow and unplanned, guided only by gravity and comfort. It ends as soon as it begins. The warmth between them remains perfectly balanced. It no longer gathers or spreads. It simply exists, steady and dependable, like a quiet center. Their fur reflects the growing light softly. Colors become a little clearer, but shadows remain gentle, as if the room refuses to become fully awake. The kittens do not open their eyes. Sleep still feels more real than the outside world. A tiny twitch passes through one ear, then fades. No sound triggered it. The body is simply adjusting, checking in, then sinking back down. Whiskers stay relaxed against their faces, no longer sensing space, no longer reaching outward. They rest inward, following the calm. The room feels wider now, not emptier, just more open, as if space itself has exhaled. Outside, the day has begun. But inside, time moves differently, slower, softer, unconcerned with schedules. One kitten exhales slowly through its mouth. The sound is almost imagined, but it deepens the quiet, making the air feel heavier and warmer. Their paws lie loose and unguarded, toes relaxed, pads warm, claws forgotten. Sleep has shifted into a steady, healing depth, not pulling them further down, not lifting them up, simply holding them exactly where they are. Dreams remain distant. There are no images, no stories, only the sense of being safely contained. The pile of kittens feels complete. No gaps, no exposed edges, every part supported by another. Minutes pass unnoticed. Time leaves no marks here. A faint breeze brushes somewhere far away. Inside the room, the air stays still, undisturbed. The kittens' faces remain smooth and open, mouths slightly parted, brows soft, expressions empty of effort. One kitten's tail makes a slow, gentle curl, then rests again, settling into its final position. Breathing continues in long, easy cycles. Each pause between breaths feels peaceful, unhurried, full. The silence remains rich and layered, filled with safety, filled with continuity. The floor beneath them feels distant, almost unreal. Support exists, but awareness no longer needs it. Light grows stronger, but not demanding. It does not insist. It simply waits. The kittens remain wrapped in rest. Their bodies know there is no reason to hurry. Nothing pulls at their attention. Nothing interrupts the calm. The room seems to protect them, holding sound at the edges, softening light. This moment stretches comfortably, not endless, just enough. The kittens sleep on, undisturbed and secure, warm, still, safe. And you can stay here too, breathing slowly, letting your body remain heavy and calm, allowing the day to wait a little longer as rest continues gently, steadily, and without any pressure to rise. The kittens are still asleep, but something subtle has begun to change. Not waking, not stirring, just a quiet shift, like a ripple moving beneath the surface of calm water. Sleep still holds them, deep and protective, yet it has softened its grip, not releasing them, only loosening, allowing a little more space around each breath. One kitten's breathing grows slightly more varied, still slow, still peaceful, but no longer perfectly uniform. The body is beginning to explore the edges of rest. Another kitten's ear tilts, almost imperceptibly, not toward a sound, but toward a change in the air, a difference so small it barely exists. The warmth between them remains steady, but now it feels noticed again, as if the body has remembered it is there. Their fur catches more light. Soft patterns emerge where shadows once lived. Pale stripes, gentle gradients, details returning without urgency. The kittens do not open their eyes. Seeing is not needed yet. Feeling is enough. One kitten's whiskers tremble slightly, not a twitch, more like a breath passing through them, a quiet acknowledgement of space. The room itself feels awake, but restrained, as if it knows better than to disturb this moment. Outside, the day has fully arrived, but it stays outside, respectful, distant. A kitten stretches one back leg just a little. The movement is slow and incomplete, stopping halfway, then relaxing again into stillness. No one wakes. Sleep simply adjusts its shape. The shared warmth shifts subtly as bodies resettle. Heat redistributes, finding new balance without effort. Another kitten presses its nose briefly into fur, inhales once, exhales. Comfort confirmed. Their paws remain loose, but no longer completely forgotten. The body remembers they exist, though it makes no demand to move them. Breathing continues, but with more texture now. A deeper inhale here, a shorter exhale there. Natural variation returning. The pile of kittens is no longer perfectly still. Tiny movements pass through it, like distant echoes, then fade. Light fills the room more fully, not bright, not sharp, just present. The kittens' faces remain calm, but behind closed eyes, something gentle stirs. Not thoughts, not dreams, just awareness warming slowly. One kitten's mouth opens slightly, then closes, a small adjustment, guided by comfort alone. Their ears shift again, subtly, still relaxed, still folded into rest, but no longer completely disengaged. Sleep now feels thinner, not fragile, just lighter, like a blanket folded back slightly. The room holds steady. No sounds rush in, no sudden movements break the calm. A kitten's tail tip moves once, then rests. The motion feels exploratory, not unconscious. Time becomes noticeable again, not measured, but sensed. A quiet awareness that moments are passing. The shared warmth remains comforting. But now, it feels like something the kittens are aware of, not something they exist inside unconsciously. One kitten takes a deeper breath than before. The chest rises more fully, then falls with a soft release. The pile adjusts gently. A shoulder shifts. A chin lifts, then settles again. No one fully wakes. The light continues to grow. Shadows shorten. Colors soften. The kittens stay where they are. There is no hurry to greet the day. Sleep lingers, but awareness has arrived quietly, not knocking, not announcing itself, simply sitting nearby. Their bodies remain relaxed. No tension returns, no alertness sharpens. This is the in-between state, not asleep, not awake. A gentle crossing. The room feels warm and safe. Nothing has changed in any meaningful way. A kitten's ear flicks again, slightly faster this time. Then relaxes, satisfied. Breathing steadies once more. Not as deep as before, but still calm, still slow. The kittens exist in a soft threshold. Rest on one side, awareness on the other. Neither pulls harder. They remain suspended between. The moment stretches unhurried. There is time for everything to happen slowly. The kittens remain together, warm, secure, calm. And you can stay here too, resting in this gentle space between sleep and waking, letting awareness return slowly, without pressure, without effort, allowing your body to remain relaxed and safe as the world waits patiently nearby. The kittens remain where they are, still close, still warm, but the balance has shifted again. Sleep is no longer a place they are lost inside. It has become something they are slowly leaving, one quiet sensation at a time. Awareness spreads gently through small bodies, not all at once, not sharply. It moves the way warmth does, slowly finding its way into paws, ears, and whiskers. One kitten breathes in deeply and holds it for a moment. The pause is thoughtful, unplanned. Then the breath leaves in a long, soft release, as if testing how the body feels today. Another kitten stretches a front paw forward. The movement is careful, half asleep, toes extending and spreading before curling back in again. The stretch ends without urgency. Their bodies are still heavy, but no longer anchored. The weight feels flexible now, like something that can be lifted when needed. The shared warmth remains comforting, but it has changed its meaning. It is no longer the whole world, just a pleasant part of it. Light fills the room evenly, no sharp edges, no sudden brightness. Everything appears as if softened by a thin veil. One kitten rolls slightly onto its side. The motion is slow and deliberate, guided by curiosity more than instinct. Fur brushes against fur, then settles. Eyes remain closed, but behind them, attention is beginning to form. Not thoughts, just readiness. Another kitten's ears lift a little higher than before. They angle loosely, catching the shape of the room without focusing on anyone's sound. The room offers quiet details, a gentle hum far away, the subtle difference between shadow and light, the steady presence of stillness. A kitten's whiskers fan forward briefly. They taste the air, reading space again, then relax back into place. Their paws shift under them, not standing, not rising, simply repositioning, finding a new comfortable arrangement. The pile loosens, not breaking apart, just creating a little more space between bodies, enough to breathe independently. One kitten yawns, slowly and wide. The mouth opens fully, showing a small pink tongue and tiny teeth. The yawn closes without sound, leaving the face soft again. That yawn travels. Another kitten follows, then another, each one unhurried, each one easing the body closer to waking. Breathing becomes more active, still calm, still gentle, but no longer drifting. The body is taking part again. A kitten lifts its head slightly, then lowers it. The effort feels unnecessary just yet. Rest still has value. Light reflects faintly in half-open eyes. Just a sliver. Enough to confirm the room is safe. Enough to close them again without concern. The warmth of the floor feels noticeable now. The surface beneath their bodies is no longer distant. It is felt, appreciated, familiar. Tails begin to move. Slow sweeps. Gentle curves. Not playful yet. Exploratory. Testing what movement feels like. The kittens' faces change subtly. Expressions are no longer empty. They hold softness mixed with curiosity, relaxation mixed with interest. One kitten adjusts its position, pushing gently against the floor. The motion lifts the chest briefly, then lowers it again, as if deciding there is still time. The room remains patient. No one rushes. Nothing demands attention. The day waits quietly at the edges. It does not pull. It does not call. It simply exists. Another kitten stretches fully this time. Back arches slightly. Shoulders rise. Then the body melts back down, satisfied. Their fur shifts as bodies move. Soft sounds accompany the motion. Barely audible, more felt than heard. The pile is no longer a single shape. Individual forms are becoming clear again, small bodies reclaiming their own space. Eyes open a little wider now, not fully, just enough to see light and color, blurred and gentle. A kitten blinks slowly, once, twice. The world comes into focus without effort. Ears lift higher. Sounds are no longer ignored. They are noticed, then accepted calmly. The kittens remain calm and unhurried. There is no sudden burst of energy, no leap into play. This waking is slow, intentional, kind. They sit together in this early state, not asleep, not fully awake, balanced gently between. Warmth still matters, so does closeness. No one moves far. One kitten rests its head on another's side. The contact is conscious now, chosen, comforting. Breathing steadies into a waking rhythm, even, relaxed, ready. The room feels brighter, but not louder. Light arrives without noise, without demand. The kittens exist fully in this moment, curious, calm, unafraid. Nothing needs to happen next. There is time, and you can stay here too, stretching slowly inside your own body, allowing awareness to return without urgency, keeping the softness of rest even as wakefulness begins, letting the day arrive gently, exactly as it should. The kittens are awake now, but only just. Not in a way that pulls them forward, not in a way that demands movement. They are awake the way morning light is awake, present, gentle, uninsistent. They sit close together, still touching, still sharing warmth. Sleep has not vanished. It has simply stepped back, leaving a softness behind. One kitten blinks slowly, eyes opening wider this time. The room comes into focus without surprise. Familiar shapes, safe edges, nothing sharp, nothing unknown. Another kitten lowers its head and washes a paw. The movement is small and deliberate. Tongue touches fur, once, twice. Then pauses as if remembering how this works. Their bodies feel lighter now, not rushed, not energetic, just no longer heavy. Gravity feels negotiable again. The floor beneath them is warm and solid. They feel it clearly now, the texture, the temperature, the quiet reliability of it. A kitten stretches fully, this time without hesitation. Front paws reach forward, back arches gently. The stretch ends in a small shiver of satisfaction, then stillness. The air feels different, fresh, open, carrying the promise of movement without insisting on it. Ears are upright now, relaxed, but attentive. Sounds exist again, distant, soft, unimportant, but real. One kitten looks around slowly, not scanning, not searching, just noticing. Light rests on their fur, revealing patterns and colors clearly. Each kitten looks distinct again, no longer part of a single shape, but still connected. A tail flicks once, then another. The motion is exploratory, like testing a new sentence before speaking it aloud. The room feels awake too, not busy, not loud, simply ready. One kitten leans into another, pressing shoulder to shoulder. The contact is conscious now, chosen, comfort without sleep. Another kitten responds by sitting closer. The circle tightens briefly, then relaxes again. Breathing is steady and even, no longer drifting, no longer sinking, just alive. A kitten lifts its head and yawns again, smaller this time. The mouth opens, closes, and the moment passes without ceremony. They are fully here now, but still calm, still slow. Nothing has startled them into waking. Nothing has rushed them out of rest. The night has released them gently. The day has accepted them quietly. One kitten stands carefully. Paws find the floor. Balance adjusts. The body holds itself with ease. Another kitten watches, curious but unhurried. No one follows immediately. A third kitten lowers its head to sniff the floor. The scent is familiar, reassuring, unchanged. Movement begins, but softly. A few steps, a pause, another stretch. The kittens explore their small world without urgency. Everything is known. Everything feels safe. Warmth still lingers in their fur. Sleep has left its trace behind, like a memory the body keeps. They groom one another briefly, a lick to an ear, a gentle nudge. Quiet care exchanged without sound. The room feels complete now, not empty of night, not full of day, balanced. The kittens move a little farther apart, then come back together again. Closeness remains a choice, not a need. Their eyes are bright, but soft. Curiosity without tension. Awareness without fear. They are ready for whatever comes next. But they are not in a hurry to reach it. The morning holds no demands, only possibilities. The quiet that carried them through the night has not disappeared. It has simply changed shape. The kittens remain calm, grounded, and at ease. Small lives beginning another gentle day. And you can remain here too, carrying the softness of rest into waking, letting your body move slowly, keeping the calm you found in sleep, knowing that nothing needs to be rushed, and that this quiet beginning is enough. The kittens are awake now, truly awake, yet the morning around them still behaves gently. Nothing rushes forward, nothing demands action. The day seems willing to learn from them. They pause where they are, sitting in a loose cluster, bodies upright but relaxed. Wakefulness has arrived, but it has not erased the softness left behind by sleep. One kitten lowers its head and begins to groom its chest. The motion is rhythmic and calm, tongue to fur, pause. Again, the act feels familiar, grounding. Another kitten watches, eyes half-lidded, curiosity calm and unpressured. There is no need to intervene, no urgency to join or move away. Light now fills the room fully, not bright in a sharp way, but warm and even, resting on the floor and the walls without contrast. A kitten shifts its weight from one paw to another. Balance adjusts easily. The body remembers itself completely now. The floor feels cool in some places, warmer in others. The kittens notice these differences, stepping carefully, learning the room again as if for the first time. One kitten takes a few slow steps forward, each paw placed deliberately. The movement is quiet, thoughtful, unhurried. The others remain where they are. No chase begins, no play erupts. The morning is still too gentle for that. Ears are fully upright now, but relaxed. Sounds exist again, distant, faint, unimportant, and are received without alarm. A kitten stops near a patch of light on the floor. It lowers itself into it, curling slightly, testing the warmth. The spot is approved. Another kitten follows, not copying exactly, but drawn by the same quiet instinct. Soon, two small bodies rest inside the light, fur glowing softly. The air feels different than it did during the night. Fresher, lighter, carrying the subtle sense of beginning. A kitten yawns once more, then closes its mouth and blinks. The yawn feels like a final bridge between sleep and waking, now fully crossed. Tails move more freely now, slow arcs, gentle curves. Not play yet, just expression. The room feels alive, but calm, as if everything inside it has agreed to move at the kitten's pace. One kitten sits back on its haunches and looks around. The gaze is clear and steady, not searching, not scanning, simply noticing. Another kitten stretches again, shorter this time. The movement is more habitual than sleepy now. Muscles respond easily. Fur shifts with every motion. Soft sounds accompany it. Quiet brushes, faint whispers of contact with the floor. The kittens begin to separate slightly, not distancing, just expanding their space, allowing individual movement. Still, they remain aware of one another. Every shift is tracked gently, without tension. One kitten pauses near a familiar corner. It sniffs the air, then the floor, confirming what it already knows. The scent reassures. Nothing has changed in any important way. Light continues its slow movement across the room. Shadows slide, almost unnoticed. The kittens move with it instinctively, choosing warmth, choosing comfort, choosing ease. A kitten lowers itself beside another and rests briefly, not to sleep, just to pause, to feel closeness without need. The contact lasts a moment, then releases naturally. No attachment, no rejection, just flow. Breathing is now fully awake, even, calm, present. The kittens feel ready for the day, but not pulled by it. Readiness exists without urgency. The quiet of the night has transformed, not disappeared. It has become a background hum, a steady calm beneath movement. One kitten lifts its head, ears angled forward slightly. A sound somewhere far away has been noticed, then dismissed. The body remains loose. Nothing tightens, nothing prepares for danger. The morning feels safe, predictable, kind. The kittens explore a little more now. A few steps here, a pause there. Movement unfolding slowly. They return to one another often. Not because they must, but because it feels good. Warmth remains important. So does space. They balance both naturally. The room now feels fully awake. But it does not overwhelm. It accommodates. The kittens exist easily inside it. Small lives moving gently forward. This is not the beginning of play. Not yet. This is the beginning of presence. The day will grow louder later, faster, brighter, more demanding. But for now, it waits. It watches the kittens and learns how to be slow. They move, pause, stretch, sit. Everything unhurried, everything enough. And you can stay here too, carrying this calm into your own waking, letting your movements be gentle, your thoughts unforced. Knowing that the day does not need to rush you, that you are allowed to begin softly, just like the kittens. The kittens move a little more freely now, but the day still feels wide and gentle. as if it has opened a window just enough to let fresh air in. Nothing rushes through, nothing pushes them forward. The world is simply available. They wander apart by a few steps, then pause. Distance is tested carefully, like a thought spoken quietly, to see how it feels in the air. One kitten stops near the edge of the room and sits. Its posture is upright but relaxed, tail wrapped loosely around its paws. The body feels confident here, steady and calm. Another kitten crosses the floor slowly, paws making almost no sound. Each step is deliberate, not cautious, just thoughtful, as if movement itself is something worth noticing. Light now fills every corner. It rests on walls, on the floor, on fur, without glare. The room looks awake, but not busy. A kitten steps into a brighter patch and squints briefly. Not discomfort, just adjustment. Eyes blink once, twice, then remain open, accepting the light without resistance. The air carries subtle information now, familiar scents, a hint of warmth, the quiet promise that this day will be ordinary, safe, manageable. One kitten lowers its head to groom again. This time the movements are quicker, more confident. Tongue to paw, paw to face. A small ritual of readiness. Another kitten watches, then mirrors the action. They sit side by side for a moment, grooming in companionable silence. The room feels inhabited now, not just occupied, but lived in, acknowledged, shared. A kitten pauses near a wall and looks upward. Nothing specific draws its attention, just the vertical space, the shape of the room, the sense of height. Ears rotate slowly, tracking faint sounds from outside. No alarm, just curiosity stretching its legs. The kitten's movements are no longer sleepy, but they are still slow, still intentional, still gentle. One kitten takes a few playful steps forward, then stops. The idea of play arrives, lingers, then politely waits its turn. Another kitten responds with a tail flick. Not an invitation yet, just a note of interest. They are learning the rhythm of the day, not by thinking about it, but by feeling it in their bodies. Light continues to move across the floor. The kittens notice and follow it instinctively, drifting from shadow into warmth. A kitten lies down briefly, stretching out fully this time. Belly against the floor, legs extended. A long exhale follows, satisfied. The stretch ends without urgency. The kitten remains where it is, enjoying the simple fact of contact with the ground. Another kitten approaches and sits nearby. No words, no signals, just shared presence. The room hums softly with quiet life. Not sound, energy. The feeling that things are awake and functioning smoothly. One kitten stands again and explores a familiar object. It sniffs, touches with a paw, steps back. Curiosity satisfied. Nothing surprising happens, and that feels comforting. The kittens are fully awake now, eyes bright, bodies responsive, minds clear, but the calm remains. It has not been replaced, only carried forward. They move with confidence that comes from safety, from knowing the space, from knowing one another. A kitten sits and looks toward the light-filled doorway, not because it plans to go there, but because it knows it exists. The world feels larger now, but not overwhelming, just open. The kittens return to one another again, forming a loose group, not as a pile, not as a cluster, just close enough. They share a brief moment of stillness, a pause before the next thing. Breathing remains easy and natural. No rush, no tightness. The day has officially begun, but it has begun softly. The kittens are ready for play, for exploration, for sound and motion. But they do not leap into it yet. They savor this gentle beginning. this calm threshold where everything is possible and nothing is required. The quiet of the night is now a memory carried in the body. It informs how they move, how they pause, how they notice. The room feels balanced, neither sleepy nor busy, simply awake. The kittens step forward into the day at their own pace, each movement unforced, each choice natural. This moment does not need to last forever. It only needs to be complete. And it is. And you can carry this with you too. This way of beginning gently, of letting the day open without pressure, of moving forward calmly and steadily, knowing that you don't have to rush into what comes next. That starting softly is not a delay, but a gift. The kittens are fully awake now, yet the calm they woke with has not left them. It has settled deeper, becoming part of how they move, how they pause, how they notice the world. They spread out across the room, no longer bound by sleep, but still connected by awareness. Each kitten follows its own small path, confident that the others are nearby. One kitten sits in a warm patch of light and closes its eyes for a moment, not to sleep, just to feel the warmth on its face, the quiet satisfaction of being exactly where it is. Another kitten explores the edge of the room, stepping carefully, nose close to the floor. Every scent is familiar, every surface predictable. The world feels kind. A third kitten pauses and watches, its head tilts slightly, eyes calm and observant. Nothing surprises it. Everything makes sense. Movement flows naturally now. Steps turn into small trots. Trots slow back into pauses. The rhythm remains gentle. The room carries more sound than before. Soft paws against the floor. A faint brush of fur. The quiet life of morning unfolding. Light has shifted again. It no longer rests in one place, but travels slowly, inviting movement without insisting on it. The kittens follow it instinctively, not chasing, drifting like leaves floating toward warmth. One kitten stretches fully, then shakes out its fur. The motion sends a tiny ripple through its body, ending in stillness once more. Another kitten responds with a brief hop, not a leap, not a game, just a test of energy, quickly resolved. They are awake, alert, and ready, but they remain soft. The calm has not been replaced by excitement. It has expanded to include movement, curiosity, and choice. A kitten approaches another and nudges gently with its nose. The contact is friendly, light, unspoken, a reminder of shared space. The other kitten responds by sitting closer. No hierarchy, no demand, just presence. The room feels complete now, every corner filled with quiet activity, every space acknowledged. Outside, the world is fully awake, but its noise does not press in. It stays distant, softened by walls and time. The kittens move freely, confidently. Their bodies know how to respond to the day without tension. They groom, explore, pause, and return. Each action flows into the next without urgency. One kitten finds a familiar resting spot and settles briefly, not to sleep, just to pause, to feel the surface beneath its body. Another kitten joins, then leaves again. Closeness and distance coexist without conflict. The day unfolds gently around them. Nothing sudden, nothing sharp. The calm they carried from sleep now lives inside their waking movements. It shapes how they step, how they look, how they rest. This is not a moment that ends. It becomes a tone, something that continues quietly underneath everything else. The kittens will play later. They will run, tumble, and chase light and shadow. But even then, this calm will remain. a foundation beneath motion, a softness beneath sound. The morning has taught them how to begin, slowly, kindly, without pressure. The room holds their presence easily, accepting each movement, each pause, without judgment. They are small lives moving through an ordinary day, and that ordinariness feels safe, warm, and complete. Nothing dramatic happens. Nothing needs to. The kittens simply live, breathing, moving, pausing, being. The quiet that carried them through the night has not vanished. It has become part of them, and you can carry it too. This gentle steadiness, this permission to move through your own day without rushing, without tightening, knowing that calm does not have to end when sleep does. You can keep it with you, in your breath, in your pace, in the way you notice small things. The day continues, and calm continues with it. You are safe to rest inside that feeling whenever you need it.